A lot going on Capitol Hill today. The Circus came to town. The president's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, testified for most of the daylight hours. Everybody carried it. You probably heard snippets in the Uber on the way to work. You've got a real job. So we watched every moment because we're paid to do that. And most of the day was devoted to the question of Trump's personal character. Now, people in Washington never tire of being shocked by what an incredibly bad man Donald Trump is. They're incredibly good people, and they can just hardly believe his flaws. They sat open-mouthed in the Congress today as Michael Cohen described his former boss, brace yourselves now, as a bit of a con man who has at times overstated his personal wealth. In private, Trump apparently has said offensive things. At one point, Michael Cohen claims Trump used a straw buyer to bid up a portrait of himself at a charity auction. He wanted his picture to go for the highest price. Whoa. Are you shocked yet? Can you believe it? Of course you can. This is exactly the man we knew back in 2015 when he descended the famous escalator, and yet millions of people voted for him anyway. His character was not the point. The point of today's hearings was not his character either. It was supposed to be Russian collusion and obstruction of justice. Those are the topics that have completely derailed the American government for the past 2 years. And on those subjects, we actually did learn quite a bit today. Here's one example. About a month ago, the cat blog BuzzFeed ran an article that claimed Trump had ordered Michael Cohen to lie to the Congress. That's a big deal. It's a crime. And so immediately the hysterics in the Congress and on cable news went bonkers. Impeachment! Indictment! Life in prison! But did that actually happen? Well, since Cohen was there in person, he was able to conclusively answer that question today, and he did. Watch.
Mr. Cohen, you stood before multiple congressional committees before today and raised your right hand and swore an oath to be honest. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you lied to those congressional committees. Is that correct?
Previously?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
You stated that Trump never directed you to lie to Congress. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so it looks like Trump will not be going to jail for suborning perjury after all. Darn, foiled again. Look for a retraction in your latest edition of BuzzFeed. You'll find it just below the 15 cats that look like Ruth Bader Ginsburg listicle. Look carefully. But what about Russian blackmail? You've been hearing about that for years. Trump, they have told you again and again, has somehow been compromised by the Russians. And that's why he's been spying for them. Putin has something horrible and incriminating on Donald Trump. He must. A picture of the president in a Batman costume, maybe. Or a videotape with hookers doing something weird. Certainly Michael Cohen would know about that kind of thing. That's his world. Luckily, a sitting member of Congress asked Cohen about it directly today. Watch.
Are you aware of anything that the president has done at home or abroad that may have subjected him to or may subject him to extortion or blackmail?
I am not, no.
Okay. Are you aware of any videotapes that may be the subject of extortion or blackmail?
I've heard about these tapes for a long time. I've had many people contact me over the years. I have no reason to believe that that tape exists.
The great Jamie Raskin of suburban Maryland, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Mr. Raskin, for clearing that up. So the P-tape is not real. There goes the juiciest part of the Trump dossier, which you'll remember was yet another highly publicized scoop from, yes, BuzzFeed. Could be time to get back to those cat videos, fellas. But wait. What about the trip to Prague that Michael Cohen supposedly took? That was part of his collusion with the dark forces of the Russian Empire. That was in the dossier as well. BuzzFeed told us about it. Surely Cohen would admit it now. He's heading to prison. He's got nothing to lose. Well, Cohen was asked about that Prague trip today, and here's what he said.
Have you ever been to Prague?
I've never been to Prague.
Never have.
I've never been to the Czech Republic.
You might balance my time.
This is where it gets confusing. Never been to Prague. This is the point at which what they call the narrative starts to break down a little bit. If Michael Cohen never went to Prague, as BuzzFeed and Adam Schiff and the entire primetime lineup of MSNBC have told us repeatedly that he did, then how exactly did Michael Cohen collude with the Russians to steal the 2016 presidential election from its rightful winner, Hillary Clinton? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida, as incisive an interviewer as the Democrats have, wondered that too. Here's the exchange.
Based on what you know, would Mr. Trump, or did he, lie about colluding and coordinating with the Russians at any point during the campaign?
So as I stated in my testimony, I wouldn't use the word colluding. Was there something odd about the back and forth praise with President Putin? Yes, but I'm not really sure that I can answer that question in terms of collusion.
Oh, wait, so there's no collusion, there's no Russian blackmail, there's no obstruction of justice. There are none of the things that our entire media class has spent the last 2 years huffing and speculating wildly about. Keep in mind that Michael Cohen is Trump's personal lawyer of 10 years. He now hates Donald Trump and would like to destroy him. He has said that again and again. If Michael Cohen had the dime, he would drop it. But he doesn't. There is nothing there. It was all a lie. Can we go home now? Nope. We've got 2 more days of stuff just like this. 2 more days of exchanges like this one, where members of Congress feel that they're not only dumber than you thought they were, but they're a lot creepier.
Can he be blackmailed because of his financial and business ventures, including by foreign governments?
Is there a love child?
There is not, to the best of my knowledge.
So you would.
Do you have any knowledge of President Trump abusing any controlled substances?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Do you have any knowledge of President Trump arranging any health care procedures for any women not in his family?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Is there a love child? Is he a dope head? Did he pay for abortions? No, 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 no. By the end, you start feeling kind of bad for Michael Cohen, honestly. He's not a genius. Anyone who knows him will affirm that. He's in his 50s now, and he's headed to prison. And that's a long way from where he expected to be. Cohen showed up in Washington 2 years ago, anticipating that he'd be the kind of guy, the kind of mover and shaker who'd be welcome at any restaurant in town. Part the seas for Michael Cohen. Now he's going to be eating sloppy joes off a metal tray with 1,000 other creeps in identical polyester uniforms in the lockup. So take the politics out of it for a minute if you can. Let's be honest, this is a sad story. Michael Cohen is a broken and desperate man, but nobody cares. Democrats cheered for his conviction on ludicrous, absurd campaign finance charges, as if paying off somebody's girlfriend is a campaign finance violation. It's laughable, but they don't care. Now they're squeezing whatever use they can out of Michael Cohen as he shuffles off to his cell. What do the rest of us get out of this? We learn that Trump is vain and vulgar. Okay. What do we do with that information? Is it supposed to make us support open borders, late-term abortion, the war in Syria, the Green New Deal? Will it make the drug epidemic go away? Will it make the suicide rate drop? Will it make housing affordable in the cities? What does it have to do with anything? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with anything. And that is exactly the point of it. That's why this is going on forever. The more time they waste yelping about Trump's charity auction scam in his naughty language in private, the less time they have to explain why they've run this country into the ground and gotten rich doing it. This is a distraction, and we are falling for it, for the record.